everyone. What a day it is with so much going on in the world. But look, I hope you're tuning in today purely out of curiosity to my thumbnail image because look, I've got something a bit challenging and, well, maybe even a bit sobering to talk about today. And to be honest, this was inspired this morning when I was at the gym and listening to Tom Hughes' broadcast from Sunday night. So someone wrote in and cited an article from the Christian Post that I've now found, and the link to it is below in the description. Now, in this article, it references a poll from Christian Research Center in Arizona of Christian pastors who were asked about faith and their beliefs. Now, I would strongly encourage you to read this article as you may actually find the results rather alarming. For example, Tom referenced toward the end of the article that 30+% thought a general faith is better than a specific faith. Yeah, 39% said that there is no absolute truth, and 38% said that life wasn't sacred. Now, does this sound alarming to you? I mean, does it concern you at all? I hope it does. Matthew 7:21 through 23, Jesus said that not everyone who says to me, Lord, Lord, shall enter the kingdom of heaven, but he who does the will of my Father in heaven. Many will say to me in that day, Lord, Lord, have we not prophesied in your name, cast out demons in your name, and done many wonders in your name? And then I will declare to them, I never knew you. Depart from me, you who practice lawlessness. When I think about it, these are perhaps the worst things that could be said to anyone. I mean, it becomes rather sobering just how many people who they think they're going to heaven, but they're going to perish forever. And so I challenge you, do you think you're a good person and this is what gets you into heaven? Like, are you doing charitable things all in the name of salvation? What if I were to actually tell you that only 2% of the population might actually make it into heaven? Now, I want to cite a booklet here that I've read many times, and it's called Placebo. Now, this is an account of a man from the 70s named Howard Pittman. I won't go into the whole entire story, but I'm hoping you'll watch the link in the description below. But having read this many times and how it aligns with other testimonies that I've heard and the Bible, I'm really inclined to believe that this story is true. So Howard Pittman, he claims that he was shown heaven. And within the story, there's a moment where he was shown people entering into heaven. But he was also told how many people perished during the same time. And when you do the math, it was actually only about 2% of all mankind that was saved. 2%! I mean, that means that out of every 100 people that you see, only 2 will spend eternity in heaven. Do you realize that Jesus spoke much more about hell than heaven? And perhaps the most sobering thing that Jesus said to guide people is from Matthew 7. Enter through the narrow gate, for wide is the gate, and broad is the road that leads to destruction, and many enter through it. But small is the gate, and narrow is the road that leads to life, and only a few will find it. I really hope you're still with me and listening, and I hope you might actually be asking, how can I be in that 2%? I think for so many people, they don't recognize sin debt. But the Bible says that the wages of sin is death. You're born into sin, and while it might not seem fair, this is actually how it is. I mean, Romans 2:23 says, for all have sinned and fall short of the glory of God. But don't you see, this is the reason for Jesus and the cross. It's his blood sacrifice that can save. Now, I can't rationalize how this is good enough for God, but it is this perfect sacrifice of Jesus that washes away our sin, and it is your faith in his perfect sacrifice that saves. That's it. Ephesians 2:8-9, Paul stated this so clearly, it is by grace that you have been saved through faith. And this is not from yourselves, it is a gift of God, not by works, so that no one can boast. Don't you see this? You're saved by grace, not by doing good or doing good things, or anything that even resembles earning your way. Because when it's about being good, it will always beg the question, well, how good is good enough? Romans 3:10 says there is no one righteous, not even one. Isaiah 64:6 even calls our righteous acts akin to filthy rags. And I think this is where religion kicks in and is prone to getting it wrong, because it's way too easy in our thinking to say, well, surely it can't be by faith alone. There's got to be more. In fact, well, that's exactly how I started going back to church when I was 35. I mean, I was sitting in the back row at a church arguing with God. I'm not joking. How can it be that simple? And over again, God just kept telling me in my spirit that it truly is that simple. Look, at the end of the day, it's your choice on how you take this message, because I'm not your judge. I'm just a guy here pointing out some Bible verses. But my Bible is very clear. You cannot earn your way to heaven, because you'll never be good enough. But it is Jesus that is good enough. Folks, that's my word for today, and I hope this really got you thinking differently today. And if you have any friends or family that you think could be blessed by this simple word, look, please share it with them, because I don't want anyone to be in that 98%. I actually want everyone to be in that 2%. So thanks for watching, folks, and I hope to see you next time.